Thanks everyone for coming out today. Truly fantastic day in this organization's history. Many of you were here last October when we announced that we were going to the NWSL, and since then we've done a lot of things. We made it to another cup final on the men's side. We've announced an academy. We've announced that we're building a new training center. But here today we're going to show you our new branding for our NWSL side, Racing Louisville FC, and I'm going to show you right now without further ado. The excitement that I feel right now for this club, from where we've been and where we're going. If you'd been here 4 years ago and you would look at this and you would say, we have this stadium, we have a championship men's team, we have an NWSL team that's coming, we have an academy. To know where we've been and where we're going is just unbelievably exciting. And so we're very, very happy that you're here to share in this moment with us. Also, in addition to releasing the brand today, we want to recognize PNC Bank. Mike Mole, who's a senior vice president for PNC Bank, is here to say a few words. And they're our first sponsor, and we're very proud to have them as our first sponsor. A bank known nationally, great reputation. They align with our values of not only quality and putting quality on the field, but in empowering women. And so we're extremely happy to welcome PNC Bank on as our founding partner. And with that, I will introduce Mr. Mike Mole from PNC Bank.
Thank you. It's interesting and right on, as Brad was talking about vision. We had a meeting set up with the team regarding the stadium, and at the end of the meeting, this was late last year, I asked about the recently announced franchise for the women's team. And they said, you know, we'd love to talk to you guys about that. And I said, I'd really like to talk. So it started a series of conversations with Pat Dimbo, Mitch Reed, Iman Zuberi, and it was vision. We sat down and I said, okay, what's the name of the team? Well, we don't know. What about the coach? Don't have one. What about the players? Won't have them until the draft. When do you start playing? Don't play until next year. And I could see this leery look in their eye, and the more they talked about the vision, and as Brad said, the success of the organization, the fact that we were already building a stadium, they looked at me and they said, well, and I said, we're in. I said, with that kind of vision and your experience at execution, it reminds me of, was it Thomas Edison that said vision without execution is hallucination? We'd already seen this team put this kind of vision together, so we wanted to be part of that. It also took me back as the father of a young daughter who was a pretty good athlete, watching the women's national team in Louisville years ago, and the excitement, the packed stands. And I had this forward vision of, we want to be part of that. We want to literally see everybody wearing our name on the kit, everybody wearing these jerseys around town, and be part of that excitement. So a corollary I always throw out there is, yeah, vision without execution is hallucination, but vision without a budget is hallucination too. So we said, we're in for the budget. We want to be your first sponsor. It does align with our values, with women business owners, our employees. The response that I've received personally from our employees since we made the announcement, very, very personal, deeply personal about how important it was to them as former soccer players, former athletes, now having their own daughters and having someone to look up to. It just very, very emotional, as well as from the general public supporting our support of the team. So thanks to the leadership here. We're very, very excited about seeing this vision now. We get our team together, get our coach together, and be out here next spring as part of a really, really exciting time. Thank you all very much.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to thank you all for coming here. Obviously, a monumental day for the whole organisation. I think I'd like to obviously thank Mike, our first sponsors, and great credit to them for believing in us and giving us that support. And also, I think Matthew Wolf and our supporters and Mitch and all the front office have done an incredible job with the branding. I think everyone will agree when you look at the branding, it's a world-class brand. I think it brings to life what is coming. I think it brings great excitement to all our supporters and to me personally to be stood up here, to be given the honour of being involved in helping to grow the women's game in Louisville. So I think today is something that again we will look back fondly on and be really excited about. It's the first day that a new brand, a new team comes to life in Louisville. So I can't thank the ownership enough and Brad for all their support in giving us the opportunity. And again, when you look at the new stadium, the new training centre, the academy, it's an incredible moment in the history of our organisation. So I'm open to receiving a few questions, and again I want to thank our supporters and everyone for their support.
Have you reconsidered coaching the team?
No, we've been speaking to a lot of coaches. We've spoken at this point to multiple males, females, international candidates. I think we're probably within, I would say, got down to the final few on a short list of great candidates. I think there's a couple in particular that really excited us, so we're finalising that, and we expect to make an announcement probably within the next 3 to 4 weeks, hopefully. So I think we've been blown away by the interest that we've had, both nationally and internationally. The calibre of candidates, as I say, male and female, I've been really impressed with a lot of the candidates, but we're getting to a place now that we're really comfortable with a few, and I think we're going to be able to make an announcement in the not too far distant future.
James, has been your role and what will be your role going forward with this team?
Basically, I think just to support the coach, to obviously to advise the board on who we believe is going to be able to bring success to the organisation. So I think part of it has been sitting and speaking to a lot of coaching candidates, looking at the values, the culture, their vision, their philosophy, making sure there's an alignment. On the academy side, obviously we've been able to roll that out. Mario and Kristen have done a phenomenal job with the academy. We've concluded the ID sessions. We're now starting to roll out some sessions for the academy. And then the training centre, obviously we've shown everyone the renderings, and we hope to break ground hopefully in the next few days on the training centre. So I think we're in a great spot with everything, and it's just making sure that we're strategic in how we plan and make sure we've a process behind everything we do.
Can you tell us anything about the players?
So the way the NWSL is slightly different to the USL, so we will have an expansion draft toward the end of the year where we'll be able to select a number of players from within the league. We also currently, there are 4 international slots, so unlike we'll say USL or MLS, there's a limited amount of international players that we can bring. Currently the amount is 4, but we're in discussions with the league to see how that will play out. So I think that the parameters in which this league operates is different to USL, but also very exciting. The expansion draft is something that we'll be really excited to participate in, and then obviously we'll have the collegiate draft in January. So again, I think there's a number of key dates that will be approaching that will bring great excitement to our supporters and to us as well.
James, for would-be players or women professional players who've seen the brand now and seen this today, what would be sort of your message about the kind of culture you're trying to create?
Well, I think again, when you look at the brand and the phenomenal job that the club have done in launching the brand, I think straight away people can see it's serious. We're stood in a $75 million stadium. We've got a multi-million-dollar training complex that's going to be here. So I think any prospective player that looks at it will go, wow, they're really serious, they're very ambitious, and it'll be a place where players will really enjoy playing, and they'll be made to feel at home, but they'll be given the facilities to be able to get better. And I think as a player, that's what you always want. You want to play for a club that is striving to achieve things, but also to improve you as an individual, and I think every player will get that here.